Happy Thanksgiving.
Giving to you too, and
Can
happy
you believe
Thanksgiving
it?
to all of you that are out there watching us. And if you are watching us now on Thanksgiving morning, why?
Why? Yeah.
You know, you got nothing better to do.
Oh, maybe they're kicked back, they're relaxing either
They
after their
they
feast
they
or
put
in
they put
preparation for the
they put
feast.
the bird in the oven already,
Yeah,
and they
they're
thought
kicking back with a little something.
glass of wine, maybe,
I hope so.
maybe a little bowl of stuffing to check it out
We
in
will.
advance. And all, will we? Yeah, we honestly we have plans for today. I mean, we're
Yeah,
going to the kids, or
yeah,
the kids are
yeah,
coming
yeah.
up.
That's why you don't see the table set and you don't,
Oh, because we're going someplace
yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
I was actually thinking about going to Boston Market.
We
Uh,
have done that in the past.
we did do that
We have
once,
done that once or
and
twice.
they make a heck of a turkey, a Thanksgiving
They,
dinner package.
yeah, it was pretty
It's
good. There's something, it's true what they say, because I always thought, your mom, when we were in Chicago and she was alive and she made a heck of a feast. Oh my.
she
The
always, always
years
did.
that she had so much and it was so wonderful and so tasty.
And the dining room in the house that I grew up in could comfortably accommodate 8 people, maybe.
You could get 10 in there, 10 to
He
11.
would put 16 in there. We were literally shoulder
We
to
were,
shoulder,
we were, yeah.
and all. And then if there was an overflow over 16, then that was the kids, and the kids' table was in the living
Living room.
room. And we always, I mean, I remember when I was in my 20s, we used to fight to go in the living room.
It was a little cooler in there because all the people were crammed into the dining room.
Yeah.
But I can remember thinking, oh my, she works so hard and she works anyway. She works full time anyway,
But
but she worked so hard in preparing this. And then there's the cleanup and you think, oh, was it, maybe we should go out one.
but it was
And she
but
she'd
it was
never say that.
oh,
No,
well,
God for
you
heaven, God
never would
forbid.
say that.
But now I understand.
Even when she got older and she could not move as much,
Right.
she said, "No, no, I'll be
Yeah.
fine. I'll be fine. I started early. I already made some things
Or
and
I
put them in the
started 2 weeks
freezer."
early. Yes, yes.
But I mean, it was a tradition which a lot of people still have, that tradition that you do the typical bird and the casseroles and the
Understand it. I
veggie
understand
the
that
dishes and
now.
and the desserts. Uh, and then the other side of you sometimes say, for once, could we just do something different? How about if we get on a cruise ship this year and go on a Thanksgiving cruise? Because the cruise ships are going to have turkey and all the fixings too, but you could,
No leftovers. Can't get any leftovers.
sure, and then you could be out on a beach before Thanksgiving dinner, and you could be out on a beach after or the next morning, instead of being in the cold of the
If you're going with your family, I guess that's one thing. But I understand where your mom was coming from
yeah.
now in my older age. And having everyone together and the food is just not the same when you store bought or you go to a restaurant.
But a
It
cruise
could be
ship could be
good,
close,
but it,
very, very close.
well, we've thought about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to work on the kids, maybe
It's
like.
just, yeah, it's just that I can only imagine my mother's reaction if we had said to her, "Mom, we're not going to be here for
Yeah,
Thanksgiving this
we'll
year
be
because we're
away.
going on a cruise."
Yeah,
She would give you that stare,
yeah,
you know.
let's stare down.
Yeah, and then the sour grapes with her mouth. She would go, "You're going on a cruise? You're not going to be home for Thanksgiving?"
Well, you know what? And this goes back to what we were talking about last week. And we said that my mother was a control freak. Your mother, to some degree,
Well, but my mother wasn't
was
a
as
control. My mother
well.
wasn't a control freak on a regular basis, but my mother was a
If it had to do with
traditionalist.
if it had to do with
Yeah,
family and even a Sunday barbecue on July the 4th,
yeah,
yes, we all need to be together.
yeah.
And the
But
only time that we were able to get away was when we took the kids because there was a holiday and maybe the stores were closed and we took the kids away.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that very often because
But
the parents just didn't love
I
it.
think people over time have maybe adjusted what they do for Labor Day. It was like you
Oh,
didn't have that traditional Labor Day barbecue every year. Fourth of July might get tweaked, but
things are tough.
Thanksgiving was Thanksgiving. Just like I think a lot of people have a Christmas gathering every year, and
Yeah,
that is tradition.
yeah.
Uh, I can only imagine what it would be like. Well, I mean, it is kind of different now because our parents are all
Are
deceased.
gone.
They're gone. So now we've had to reassess what we do, and we have because sometimes we've gone over to our son's house for Thanksgiving, and
Mhm.
sometimes they come here. So you adjust that. The one thing that I think always made Thanksgiving in my house when we were growing up was there never, ever would be a neighbor in the neighborhood that didn't have a place to go. Because my mother she would scour the neighborhood and you know, she died in the house that we grew up in. So she was there for 70 years. Uh, but my mother would canvass the neighborhood to find out if there was somebody that
It was
didn't have a
alone.
place to go.
Yeah.
And she would say, fine, you're coming to our
She
house.
was very, very good about that.
And
Very
and
diligent.
she did that, and that was part of the fun of Thanksgiving was because there were almost every year there was at least one or two people that weren't there the previous year.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Friends
right.
of your mom's. Sometimes we would have some friends of ours from the city would come out
Mhm.
for Thanksgiving because they didn't have anything planned. And there was always room
But
for more
but
people.
now everybody's diets has changed. Our daughter does not appreciate Thanksgiving. She does not like turkey. I don't, I guess she will eat ham, but I think she could take or leave that.
Yeah.
It's different. All I can say is it's different. People's priorities have changed. I don't think that they feel the need to be with the family if they have another place to go, be it a vacation or maybe a friend that they haven't seen in a long time and they're going to spend the holiday with them.
Yeah.
And the foods have changed.
I was just
The
going to
food,
say the menu has changed over the years, even so much as right down like to the desserts. I
Mhm.
always remembered that pumpkin pie was the pie for Thanksgiving,
It
but
still is.
well, it still is, except a lot of people like apple pie. A lot
Mhm.
of people like mincemeat pie. A
Mhm.
lot of people like pecan pie.
Yeah,
Sometimes you'll have more than one pie, and then you throw ice cream into the mix, and then you always have to have a plate of cookies or brownies or something else.
ice cream to go
So
on the
that
pie.
traditional, turkey, casseroles, salads, pumpkin pie, it's been embellished over the years. And
Well,
like you said, some people, I can only imagine what does a vegan do for Thanksgiving? I mean, you can't.
well,
I don't think there
you
is.
have green beans.
Well, you're gonna
You
have
have
some
green beans, you have
vegetables,
carrots usually.
and you could probably make a
Um,
good vegan casserole
right.
with cheeses and everything. But what do? You get a few. You get 16 pounds of tofu and
No,
shape it into a turkey.
you get vegetable dishes. You have more veggies, and I don't think that that's such a problem. We didn't have that years ago. What we did have that we don't have that nobody seems to care about anymore are the Jello molds.
Yeah.
My mother made one. Your mom made a few, and nobody seems to gravitate to Jello anymore.
And you know why? Because it was a long process. It took a long time to do a Jello mold because you had to do the Jello separate from the fruits and everything. You had to let the Jello mold set for just so long.
Right.
Then you added the second flavor and you had to let that sit for a while. And just at the right time, you had to mix it all in. So we live in a faster paced society now. So when people see that it takes an hour to prepare this meal and it takes another hour to cook it, all people say, I'm looking for a shortcut.
Well, to a point, yeah, but I don't ever think that our kids liked the Jellos. I
sure
just don't
did.
think that we did, because we were brought up on it. We tried to bring them up on it, but they didn't have a taste for it. And a lot of people just, or their diets, they can't, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of sugar in it.
You know,
Um,
Burger came out with the Impossible Burger.
yeah,
You know, that
yeah,
it's all made out of veggies and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but it's supposed to taste like a bird. I wonder if anybody's come out with an Impossible Turkey,
Haven't seen anything, but
you
I
know,
think you would have heard about
that
it if they
it's
had,
you know, all organically made
maybe.
something to make it taste like a turkey.
But what's it look like? There's a
Well,
question.
I would hope that they would make it look like a turkey because
I,
a
that's a
Impossible
good
Burger
question.
looks like a burger,
That's a good question.
but
I'm just thinking now, past Thanksgiving, past tonight.
yeah,
And everybody's gonna be going out tonight for early bird specials at stores, or in the morning, they'll all be shopping.
because
And I
the
can't
stores
believe it's
start
that time
staying
already.
open 24
I know,
hours,
I
a lot of
just
them.
can't believe that we're here. We're at
But
that point, the holiday rush, holiday season.
also
Wow.
used to remember nobody ever left my mother's house after Thanksgiving without Ziploc bags full of food. She used to
Yes, you
wrap
did.
up
Yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
because she always made twice
So
as
much,
much as what
so
she
much.
needed.
Yeah.
You know, oh, let me mix it.
Well, that's why we all had freezers growing up. Some people have freezers these days, in a garage or another part
Yeah,
of the house, but you don't see as much of it, I don't think. Because I think, because what you say is it's throwaway society, and a lot of people do carry out or just cook for each
yeah.
meal.
Another thing about Thanksgiving that's been a tradition, and it's been a tradition for a long time, is football games. There's
Yeah,
always been, which has worked.
and parades.
Yes, and then that has worked favorably for the host of a Thanksgiving dinner
Yeah,
because everybody would get up in the morning and you'd watch the Macy's Day Parade,
you
especially
might.
when
We did.
we were kids growing up. And I always used to like it
Did
for the
you? Oh, we never.
inflatable balloons
Oh, we
to
never
see
really watched it.
who was coming down. But while you were cooking the dinner and everything, the men would all go into the den, and some of the women would go into the den with the plates of hors d'oeuvres and stuff to watch the football games. And one of them, the Detroit Lions, almost, I don't know if they have ever not played on
Thanks,
Thanksgiving Day.
really.
There's other teams that traditionally play on Thanksgiving and all, but you always used to watch the Detroit Lions. So, except you say, "All right, dinner is
Right,
ready."
and that's
Oh
right.
man,
And now,
the score is tied and we're in the deep into the fourth quarter, so
yep.
we'll be there shortly. Or there would be a commercial, and the men would all get up and run to the table and prepare a plate
And
and
then bring it, that's
go back.
exactly what I was, at least that's what they do here a lot, because Texas is big on football.
Our dads did that and all, and so we kind of it's
Yeah,
tradition,
yeah, 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 yeah,
so you do it.
yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
whatever your tradition, we hope that you will have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving.
yeah, it's a traditional day, probably one of the most beloved
It
holidays that
is.
we have on our calendar because of the history that goes along with it. And also, whether you're sitting at home and just having a turkey sandwich, or you're going to have the whole spread, the whole 9 yards and everything, just have a great Thanksgiving
Enjoy it.
and come back and join us again next week. Okay? Pass me the drumstick.
Oh,
Oh,
sure, I can do that.
okay.